In this video, we will understand the idea of proportionality. Consider the cost of gas being $3.50 per gallon. Let's come up with a model for the cost to fill a tank of gas. Since we only know the cost per gallon, we need to know how many gallons we're getting. So we have two unknowns, the cost to fill a tank of gas, which we'll call C, and the number of gallons of gas, which we'll call G. The cost C is a function of G, so we can write it as C of G. C of 1 is the cost for 1 gallon of gas, which is 350 times 1, which is 350. C of 2 is the cost to get 2 gallons of gas, which is 350 times 2, or $7. The cost of 3 gallons of gas, C of 3, is 350 times 3, which is 1050. In general, the cost of G gallons of gas, C of G, is 350 times G. So our model is C of G equals 350 times G, where C equals the cost to fill a tank of gas and G equals the number of gallons of gas. In this example, we say that C is proportional to G. For two variables x and y, we say that y is proportional to x if there is a constant value k, so that y equals k times x. K is called the constant of proportionality. In our last example, C is proportional to G with a constant of proportionality of 350. If you drop an object and let it hit the ground, the time it takes for the object to hit the ground is proportional to the square root of the height it was dropped from. So for t equal to the time for the object to hit the ground, and h, the height from which the object is dropped, we have t equals some constant k times the square root of h. Suppose we drop a water balloon from 100 feet high and it takes roughly 2.5 seconds to hit the ground. Then what is k? We have that the time, 2.5, equals k times the square root of 100, the height it was dropped from, which we can simplify as k times 10. Solving for k, we get that k equals 0.25. So our constant of proportionality is 0.25. And we can write t equals 0.25 times the square root of h. How long would it take if we dropped it from 400 feet? Then t equals 0.25 times the square root of 400, which is 5. So it would take 5 seconds for an object to hit the ground if it was dropped from a height of 400 feet. Remember that we can rewrite the square root of h as h to the 0.5. So we can rewrite our formula as t equals 0.25 times h to the 0.5. Since we have a power of h, namely h to the 1/2 or 0.5 power, we call this a power function. In general, we say a function f of x is called a power function if f is proportional to a power of x. Power functions look like f of x equals k times x to the p, where p is called the power of the function f. A function that is a sum of power functions is called a polynomial. As an example, f of x equal to 2 times x to the third minus x squared plus 3 is a polynomial, which is made up of the power functions 2 times x to the third, negative x squared, and 3.